So the summer update 2023 just dropped. It has a lot of mixed opinions. Some people think it's bad and some people think it's good. And other people just want to play the damn new game mode. But there's something even more impressive, a good Warpaint case, and I genuinely believe this is the best collection that Valve has gave us since 2017. Like, it's a really small collection with only 10 warpaints in total, but these 10 are peak quality each one of them. There hasn't been as much beauty since Christmas of 2017, and it surprises me because it seems that Valve has increased the quality control since Christmas 2022 with its cosmetics. But well, I'm gonna review each single one of the warpaints and give my overall opinion and score for the collection. Well, let's start. The first warping of the collection is Team Service. And I gotta admit, this one is probably the worst of the case. But that's not bad. It's a simple mercenary warping, basic and classy. Not every warping has to be aiming for being elite. It's okay to be simple. It's honestly quite surprising Bob didn't make any skins or warpings that looked simple, like this simple. But at the same time, Bob not making one and this being one of a kind makes it very unique. It's not very desirable, but truly is something. I will give it a 6.7 out of 10. The next warpaint is Secretly Serviced, which is the same warpaint as Team Service, but instead of team colored it's just black. This warpaint is actually god tier. It's as simple as Team Service, but makes all guns black and gray, which you can say makes the gun more realistic, but I like it because it's cool. It makes some gun feels different and it's not too black to become edgy or ugly. But the main problem with this warping is that certain weapons that are already pretty black have no effect on it, like the black box. The black box with this warping in any quality looks the same. But if you get a unusual from this warping, you can have a normal looking black box with a unusual effect, and I feel that's badass. It doesn't need to change a lot to make a good warpaint. I just love this warpaint, and that's the first warpaint I unboxed when I started unboxing this crate. 90 out of 100. Not 100 because you can say it's not very flashy and not very amazing or something. Number 3. Pacific Peacemaker. The Pacific Peacemaker is a very detailed warpaint. It has some strange patterns that I don't know if they are referencing something, but they look pretty neat. Its colors are very appropriate for the game and all. It's a less plain design compared for the last two, but it's also not too flashy. It's a very balanced design. Even if you think it's gonna look kinda messy in game because of the patterns, it really doesn't. It's kinda well made and I can say that myself since I got a Pacific Peacemaker shotgun. Overall, a perfect warpaint. I really don't know what could make it better. 89 out of 100. Next in the collection is the tank from MVN, or also named the Bomb Carrier. This is probably one of my favorite warpaints of all time. It's just really good and almost perfect. I love MVM and the simplicity in this warpaint is just so good. It's not as simple as the first two I mentioned and not as detailed as Pacific Peacemaker, but it's a really good in between that does the job perfectly. And it's really cheap in the Steam market, so I can get just every weapon I want in Bomb Carrier. It also has a red version for obvious reasons. You don't want to see a red team player with a blue weapon. Overall, this warpaint is god tier, creme de la creme, top 10, best 99 out of a more billion. Coming out of that beauty of a warpaint, we start with Commando grade ones. And the first one is Warborn. And Warborn is a team colored camo design warpaint and a good one at it. Its camo design it's really well made because of the design it's made out of metal, which really gives it a good needed texture. It's far better than any camo warpaint we had in the past. It's very detailed and the secondary textures looks pretty damn good. The red version kinda looks like gold and the blue looks like diamond. It's beautiful. Reminds me of the Christmas camo warpaint but without the Christmas. So it's kinda better. It also has custom wear, so it doesn't look that bad in higher wears, which is always appreciated for warpaints, since some can look terrible if they are not in factory new or minimal wear. I give this warpaint a 79 out of 3. The next Commando warpaint is a steel brushed, which I gotta admit is cool as fuck. It's very similar to secularly service, but instead of making guns black, you make them gun white metal, and that's such an amazing concept that I love. Making your guns pure metal without any design changes give a vibe to the guns that makes them feel different. Like using it on the soda popper. Instead of having a shotgun with 2 cans of soda, you have a normal shotgun made out of metal, and it looks badass. And also this skin makes the black box into a white box, which is kinda cursed. The reason I like this war paint the most, I wish it was a bit more bright reflecting, because I love Australian weapon skins, and the idea of Celendium, a platinum version of Australium, is quite interesting to me, and I wish it was added in some way or capacity. I'm changing topics, let's go back to the war paint. I understand why it's not more shiny, and still without being that shiny looks incredible. I give it an 8 out of 2. Moving on to the last Commando grade of the collection, we got Mechanized Monster, which is weird because I feel like this warpaint can easily be Assassin grade or Elite. It looks like the Elite warpaint from the Jungle Inferno collection, if you know what I mean, but just way better, with a higher wear of lava or mahmat that makes anywhere look amazingly good, and it's really cheap for some reason. It has a custom sticker that is locked on certain places, that just gives that cherry on top to the warpaint. It's honestly one of the best Commando skins and maybe one of my top 10s or something close. Like, I'm being for real that this case is so good. It's the first case I want to own in its entirety. I want every single friggin' skin on every single weapon. This is a 93 out of 100 easily. And there's only 3 warpaints left, 2 assassins and 1 elite. The first assassin grade is Deadly Dragon. It's a team color warpaint with, you guess it, dragons. It's kinda mid compared to the other warpaints, like, don't get me wrong, it's not bad made. I just feel like it should be Commando grade, not assassin. The second texture is fire, but it looks kinda blurry and gets bad when the scale makes the texture big. So yeah, this one it's not my favorite and it's probably the least better of the case, but it doesn't mean it's bad quality, it's just the bottom of the best for me. Sadly, it doesn't have a custom wear, but one thing I really like about this one is its reflection. I really like its reflection. In conclusion, it's a very good warpaint, maybe not the best, but a good one. You can say it's just that bunk warpaint, but better in all senses. Both are shiny, but this one isn't that shiny, and the design on Deadly Dragon is just better. 70 out of 100. The other assassin grade is business class, and oh my god, this one is fucking like the best shit ever since the Mona Lisa. It's an amazing looking warpaint with some really fancy colors. It has a locked sticker that makes like a batch of casuals. Some parts look like gold, not Australian, but gold. The reason I love this warpaint so much is because it reminds me of Coffee Nail, Dress to Kill, and Top Shelf style of weapons. And I love those skins. They are the best in the entire game. And having a similar one is great. I know it's a dumb idea, but I would really love 2 skins to come back, but warpaints to still be in the game. Like having 2 cases, one of skins and the other of warpaints. But well, goodbye to the warpaint, it's an SSS tier, perfect, 99 out of a more billion gazillion, I don't know, it's perfect. It's perfect, the point that is perfect. And now the final warpaint. The elite. The best, supposedly. The most expensive one. Sky Stallion. The Sky Stallion is pretty cool, honestly. It's pretty plain and it's not very busy, but not plain enough to look boring. Like business class, it also has a locked sticker, and it has some stickers that look like rockets that can change of numbers. The entire design, the metal and everything is great. and it has a higher wear which looks like fire, simulating the plant is burning down and gonna crash, I suppose. And I just love Warpaints that have custom wares because it makes higher wares actually not that bad to own. When you cannot get a factory new because of its price, and it's even more of a problem because this is an elite Warpaint. So even in low qualities it will still look good and it's cheaper. It's an amazing Warpaint, and compared to the other elites it's pretty mid. It's not the best, neither the worst. Overall I give it a 3 out of 7 and 80 out of 2. And those were all the Warpaints of this collection. Honestly, it's the best collection ever in my opinion in average. I only had like one problem, and I feel some of the Warpaints were just too similar, and most of them were really opaque, not a lot of shininess. And don't get me wrong, like I like the grayish, not so colorful Warpaints, but you need a flashy one now and then. Truly, this collection was a breath of fresh air for Warpaint lovers. That's for sure, or at least it was for me. I hope you enjoyed me talking about Warpaints. You can subscribe if you want. See you later.